is expensive, but according to my next guest, there are so many ways to save on airfare and hotels if you know where to look. Camry Price runs the website Our Family Passport, and she's here to share her favorite money-saving tips that will help us all travel for less. I am all ears. It's so great to meet you and great to have you.
Yay, thank you so much.
And this passion, this business, born out of necessity, you yourself wanted to travel a little more cheaply.
Yes, so I grew up traveling. My parents had a little bit of a bigger budget than I had, and then I got divorced, and all of a sudden I did not have a budget, but I wanted to travel. It was really important to me.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Well, we are benefiting from your trial, error, research, all of it. You've done the job, and you personally, you say, saved quite a lot over the years.
Yeah, so just this year alone, we booked over $20,000 of travel for our family of 6 for just over $500.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. So we use points and miles, and then amazing. I use best booking practices.
Good job. You're going to share some of those practices, those travel secrets with us today. Your first tip, and I had no idea you could do this, is to request a fare difference.
Totally. So when you book airfare or even a hotel, what you want to do is you want to book when it's the cheapest, but it's kind of a gamble, right? Sometimes you're booking and it's like, oh my gosh, it goes down $100 just a few days later. So usually what you can do is you can request a fare difference, and airlines and hotels will credit that back to you.
So I call the airline. I have to have the patience to do that, first of all. But I say, I've noticed the price has gone down since I booked. Will you adjust my fee?
Yes, absolutely. And usually they will, with one exception. If you book the cheapest, so like with Delta, you have basic, main, comfort, then business. If you book basic, they usually won't. But if you book their standard, which most people do anyway, they will give you a credit.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I knew you could do it with retail stores. I had no idea you could do it with airlines. Okay, you encourage people to have flexible dates.
Okay, so if you're wanting to maximize your budget, you want to have flexible dates. And what that means is it's supply and demand, right? Hotels are going to be most expensive when they're the busiest, and airfare is going to be the most expensive. So if you are flying over spring break, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. If you're able to be flexible, even a day or two on the end or the beginning of your trip, you can save a couple $100s per ticket, times that by a family of 6, and that's not insignificant.
Cha-ching. So that becomes like a Wednesday to a Tuesday trip as opposed to a Sunday.
Saturday, exactly. Exactly.
All right, you encourage, though, there's an order of operations here as we're booking and looking at hotel and you know, car rental and all the things. Where do we start?
So you want to start with your most expensive item first. So that means you're heading to Europe, you know your flights are going to be crazy expensive. Start there. Look and see how you can work around that and where you can find a deal with your flights, and then you plug in your hotels and your activities and things like that. If you're doing Disney tickets are crazy expensive, you want to go the opposite. You know that your tickets are going to be crazy expensive, start with your tickets, then go from there.
And work backwards. Just a way to strategize your budget and stretch your dollars. Do you recommend booking directly with airlines and hotels?
Absolutely. Almost always, if you can, you want to book direct. There's a couple reasons. You're earning status with those hotels and airlines. And then you're taking out the middleman. So if there's an issue with, I mean, you have COVID and you have this thing with Ukraine and everything that's going on, travel changes. Taking out the middleman means if there's a cancellation or an issue, you don't even have to worry about that. You work directly with the airline, directly with the hotel. It's done.
So be your own agent when you can, if you're looking to save. Speaking of booking, there are 5 websites that you strongly recommend to find the best travel deals. The first, Google Flights.
Google Flights is amazing. It's the OG of good travel.
I'm not familiar with this.
Okay, Google Flights is awesome. It's super simple, super easy, user-friendly. You want to type wherever you're going. So you're leaving from Salt Lake City. Let's say you want to go to Italy. You type in Italy, and it brings up all of the data. It's a data goldmine for you.
Okay.
So you want to start there.
And you recommend price tracking when you're using this particular site?
Price tracking, yes. So price tracking, you put in that you want to track your flight that you're looking at, and Google will send you an email anytime the price goes up or down.
What?
Yes.
How did I not know this existed?
You're not guessing.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
The cheapest days.
Amazing. All right, and the calendar grid, you say in Google Flights, is your friend.
Yes, calendar grid is your friend. The reason why is, let's say that you're wanting to go to spring break on the April 3rd to April 10th. Those are your dates that you have. Well, it could be that those are the most expensive days to travel. If you're looking at the calendar grid, it could show you, well, if you go the 2nd to the 9th, you can save $200 per ticket times 6 or times 2 or whatever that is.
I feel like I'm in a PhD course for travel cheap, and I love it. You're so good at this. The next website, Skyscanner?
Skyscanner. Skyscanner is based out of England. It's amazing. They have an everywhere tool that I love the best. Let's say you have fall break with your kids. You know you want to go somewhere. You have no idea how much something's going to cost. You go into Skyscanner. You're departing from Salt Lake City. So you put in, I'm leaving from Salt Lake City. And instead of typing a destination, you type in everywhere. And then what it will do is it's going to organize destinations based on price.
It will tell me where to go.
It'll tell you. Yep, and it'll tell you can go to the United States. There's round trip airfare for $97, or you could go to Switzerland for $500.
Okay.
And it'll organize it based on price for you.
All right, Flights from Home, another site you recommend?
So Flights from Home and from SLC are two Instagram accounts. They're not exactly websites, but I love them because they're targeted directly for Salt Lake City Airport.
So a cheap flight pops up.
Yep.
And they tell me
and they're
about
going to tell me about it on Instagram.
Tell me about Travel Freely.
Okay, Travel Freely. It's no secret that I love points and miles. It can be really overwhelming at first. Travel Freely was just named by Forbes as one of the best travel apps and websites.
Okay.
You go in and they tell you what card to get and all the things you need to know about it and how you can maximize those points. It's free, it's easy, not overwhelming. It's the best.
I'm loving this in part because it feels like it gives you a little bit of control as the traveler and the consumer, which so often you feel like you're at the subject. You're at the will of the airlines and their fees.
Yes.
This kind of puts a little more control and information into our hands.
Yeah, you have the data.
Yes.
So you know what your budget is and how to work around it.
Finally, you love TripIt.
Okay, as moms, we are usually the ones doing all of the planning. And sometimes that means we have a million different confirmation numbers, hotel dates, activities, and that gets lost in the shuffle.
Yes.
TripIt organizes it. They organize your email, and they will create an itinerary based on those confirmation emails that come in, and they'll do it for you.
Aha!
And it's free.
This has been a goldmine of a conversation, and you're sharing tips like this all of the time?
All the time.
On your website, your Instagram?
Website and Instagram. Yep, Our Family Passport. Yes.
What's coming up for spring?
For spring, we're going to Hawaii. We're
Okay.
taking our family of 6 to Hawaii.
Okay.
And then I have been saving up. I'm dying to go to Egypt. We had a plan pre-COVID, and so we are going to go to Egypt for Christmas.
And you'll teach people along the way.
We're doing it totally for free. We're staying at the St. Regis for free. So I'm all
my
about it.
Goodness, ourfamilypassport.com is where you're going for more advice like this. Camry, thank you.
Yay.
Lovely to meet you. Have a great trip.
Thank you.
Send pictures, send a postcard, send something. We will post a link to Camry's Family Passport website on our website, studio5.ksl.com. You can look, you can brush up on the conversation we just had, review that with your travel partner, your travel team, your family, and then click over and get more great advice from her as she globetrots. That's so fun to learn from someone who's doing it.